Yes, so today I wanted to do a little bit of a demonstration on how to cover this purpleness. I have a little bit of it going in here and in here. Again, my son whacked me, gave me a concussion, and so here we are. So I'm feeling better. It's all the symptoms are starting to go away. I'm able to not have such bad light sensitivity, that kind of thing. So, what I wanted to do is take this as a learning experience and kind of show you guys how I like to, and how great it is and how great the coverage is to cover these dark circles. Now, I've done it before, but I created the purpleness underneath the eye. This is actual purple on my eye. So we have so many different concealers that we can use. We have concealers that you can use just for highlighting. We have concealers that you can use just for, and I'm trying to get them pulled out for you guys so I can show you. We have them just for highlighting. We have them just for contouring. We have them just for those types of things. So as you can see here, it goes lighter and then it starts to get more corally, orangey color. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys on here. I have a total disaster because my daughter got into my concealers. So if you look here, we have the highlighting, and then we have covering the redness, and then we have these two colors. This is an eyeshadow, but see this right here? This is what we're going to use to color correct. It's more of an orangey tone, but I just wanted you guys to see that. Ugh, this thing needs cleaned. I'll just use my clean sponge on it. So as you can see here, if you look at these two tones right here, we have the greenish color, olivey color. That's what's going to cover your redness, like right in here. And then you have the corally color, which we're going to use. And then this is a highlight, and then that's a contour. These are just shadows and blushes. Okay. So I did spray my face because I do want to have a base layer. Now I am working with a smaller area. And I don't want to push super hard just because it's still a little tender. So I am going to use this first, and then I'm going to go in, and then I'll go in and do some more detail. So I'm going to just take some of that corally concealer, and as you guys can already see, it's already starting to cover. I don't need hardly any of it. See how it's already covered? I don't want to use too much because I don't want it to look heavy or anything like that. So do you see how I barely put anything on? Like there's anything on there. So what I'll do is then I'll touch up and I'll put a little foundation over it. So what I like to do here is I like to set it, and then I'll spray it. Okay, so what I mean by setting it, I'll just take a little bit of a brush, and then I'll just take some translucent powder. Okay, and I'm just gonna put a little bit of powder on there just to kind of set it. Okay. I like to do this whenever I'm covering like my melasma or anything like that. Okay. So if you look here, you can see that it's already somewhat covered. Okay, so let that sit here just for a second, and then I'm just going to take a little bit of foundation, and I'll just put a little foundation on top of it. Now when I use foundation, I like to use a wet sponge. This is not my sponge. This is for Halloween makeup. It's all stained and ugh. So I like to use that one for Halloween. Let me get my smaller one so then we can do it that way. Okay, so I like to use a smaller sponge around my eye area. So as you can see here, I'm getting this wet. I like to use a wet sponge. I just feel like it's more pliable. It just works easier. So this is dry, right? But also I want to be really careful with my eye area because it's still tender. Okay, it's still very tender to me. Okay, so I'm just going to take it and I'm just going to lightly apply. I think I might just use my brush to apply the foundation to that area. It's still a little tender, but that's okay. Just gonna go a little bit softer than normal. Oops, I grabbed the wrong foundation. I grabbed the wrong foundation. Okay, grab the right one. Okay, so we're just going to take this brush. We don't need a lot of foundation, just a little bit to cover. I like this brush too because I feel like it does move the foundation a lot nicer than normal. It makes it a little bit more easier to adhere. So sometimes I just go back in here and I just kind of put a little bit more on top. But look how well that covered. Like, look how well that covers the purpleness underneath there. Like, it's like no bueno. You can't even really see it. So that's why I like this concealer, because it really does amazing coverage. Obviously I would be applying foundation to my whole face, but if I was just covering that, I would just use that concealer on top of it. I wanted to show you guys what it looks like when you put foundation over it and how it just kind of like gives it that flawless finish. So I hope that was helpful for you guys. Again, I love the complexion palette because it comes with a foundation and 2 concealers. So if you struggle with like dark circles or purpleness or redness, you can get a foundation, a customized foundation, and then you can choose your 2 concealers. So if you struggle with the purpleness under the eye, all you have to do is use that salmon base. If you struggle with redness, you would use that olivey colored, greenish olivey colored concealer, or if you want to highlight and contour, you could do that as well. So I like to just take the highlighter one after I've gotten that cleaned up, and I'll just take the highlighter and I'll just apply it to this area right here, and I'll just go right in here. Okay, and that's gonna make the eye look more lifted. Okay, and I'm not gonna press hard because again, this is really tender. It's a tender area. Okay, so do you see how that just lifted the whole entire eye? It's covered. It's good to go. There's nothing on there. You're not even hardly seeing the bruise. It's all good in the hood, right? So I like to put that lighter one down in here because it's going to make the eye look a little more lifted. So even if you do have a little bit of purpleness, and look at that, I have that from there. It's like permanent from, I guess from wearing glasses. I'm not sure why, but I love how this gives me the great coverage that I need. It covers that purple, like you're not even seeing it. So hopefully this was helpful for you guys. Again, you can get our complexion palette with our free foundation brush. So if you need my step-by-step guide on how I did cover this, shoot me a message or comment below guide, and I can shoot this over to you, just so you know the type of colors to get. It's not brand specific, but like whether you need a corally color, or do you need an olivey green color, do you need a highlighting color, like it helps you with that. So I have a great quick quiz that you can take that's not brand specific. So I hope you guys have a great day, and I hope this was helpful for you. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Bonnie. Thank you so much for joining me.